Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jaime and this is Let's Talk About It. So today I am here with my childhood toys, guys. And yeah, there's a lot of them. We're going to call this part 1 because I'll find more and then I'll do part 2. So the first one we're going to talk about is 1985's Baxter. And this is a basset hound, and he's from the company Russ. And this was a stuffed animal that was very popular in the 80s. I think like me and all my cousins had this little guy, and my friends had him. And you can get him on eBay really easy these days. I always see him around, but yeah, he's one of my little favorites. Next is a 1983 Smurfette by the company Payo. I think that's how you say it. And I can remember holding this when I was a little kid. I can remember, you know how like you can dig up an old memory and you can just like remember like maybe a color or a pattern or a smell or something. Yeah, this is what this doll gives me big time when I look at her, and I love her. She reminds me of being a very, very little girl. One of my first memories, I think. Next is Little People. Little People made me very happy as a child. I played with the house that was like a triangle. I loved that house. And then I had the police station, and you know how the town goes. I loved those toys. I loved playing Little People. I loved the little doggy. And yeah, one of my most favorite toys. Now we have the California Raisins. The California Raisins came out in the late 80s, and I absolutely was crazy about these little guys. The commercials, you guys remember the commercials? Yeah, and I was even them for Halloween one year. We cannot do a childhood video without talking about my 3rd grade lunchbox, guys. I always loved my child's, okay? And this lunchbox made me so happy. I have always been a big fan of doll staging. I just love it when the Cabbage Patch Kids do it, the My Child's do it. I just loved it. And the My Child's was one of the dolls that I remember really liking when I was a kid. A lunchbox says a lot about a person's personality. What kind of lunchbox did you guys have? We might as well talk about my child Samantha now that we've talked about my lunchbox. This is Samantha. She is dirty and old and loved, and she has green eyes and black hair just like my son, and I think that's very, very, very odd. A very weird coincidence, right? My baby when I was younger has the same color eyes and hair as my baby when I'm an adult. What? Next is the 1968 Fisher-Price Snoopy pull toy doggy. And this dog, even though that this toy was made well before my time, I was born in 78, I still had older toys that I was playing with. I don't know if they were still making them or if I had hand-me-downs, but I had a lot of older toys that came before my time. This guy makes a cool little noise when you pull him, and his wheels make him go wobbly when he walks, and he still has his little dog in his mouth, which is kind of rare. Next is Lolly, my 1975 Fisher-Price dolly. This dolly has like a rattle in the belly, and she's washable, and that's what she's like known for. And I love this baby doll so much. She's one of my prizes in my collection, and yeah, I cherish her. Yeah, I was a hardcore 80s kid, and I loved myself Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, yeah, I did own a few. I remember saving my allowance and going up the street to play the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game. Yeah, I thought it was so cool. One of my first bath toys that I remember playing with is 1982's Rub-a-Dub Doggy by Ideal Toys. And what you would do is you would bring him in the tub with you and you would wash him. And then you would use his collar and you would push his head back and forth and it would wring out his ears that were kind of like cloth and kind of like, yeah, like terry cloth almost. And they make a pink one and a purple one, but I like the one with the spots. Next is my Fisher-Price 1985 Gummy Bear Cubby. And he is from the Saturday morning cartoon, The Gummy Bears, and I love the theme song to this show.
Dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly, with stories to share. All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along as their song fills the air. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears.
It's so happy, and I remember I wanted all of the stuffed animals to that show, but I only got this one. We have 1992's Lamb Chop Play-Alongs Lamb Chop Puppet. That was a cool show. I used to bug out on the song That Never Ends. I used to sing it and it wouldn't stop. I used to totally bug out.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that doesn't end. How do I turn you off?
Speaking of puppet, this is my 1981 Gans Bros Wrinkles puppet. That's such a tongue twister for me to say, but you put your hand in the back of his head and you make his mouth go open and close, and that's all the puppetry that this guy does. Now we have my 1966 Tupperware Zoo It Yourself, and I used to play with these things for hours when I was a kid. I loved playing with these. You can take them all apart, and then you build the animals yourself, and you can mix and match them and make them look different. There was others that came along, and it even had, I think it had a little barn area, but I don't have all the pieces, but I have these, and as you can see, they're so fun to play with. I wish I had a little kid to come over and play with them because I think they would have so much fun. And they're made out of Tupperware. Hi, it's gonna last forever. In 1984, I got this guy, and this guy is Bumbleian, and he's from the Wuzzles, and it was another cartoon on Saturday mornings that I used to watch.
Here in the land of was, they're having twice the fun, 'cause every single thing is really two in one. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and when you add it up, you get a lot of that. Ooh, they got originality, living with a split personality. We're the Wuzzles. Ooh, yeah. We're the Wuzzles. Oh, yeah.
Bumbleian is a lion mixed with a bee, and I used to put him on my wrist and do this when I was a kid. I was a nut. Two of my prized possessions, my 1983 Odie and my big Garfield, and I love these two. I actually have a dog and a cat that act just like these two. I love them. I love Garfield. I watch Garfield's Christmas every year. I love the way Garfield acts, everything about him, except for the fact that he likes lasagna and I don't. Other than that, we're just alike. He loves bed and I love bed. And yeah, I'm very proud of them too. This is my 1984 Snork All-Star. I did love the Snorks. I used to watch them also on Saturday mornings. And they're kind of like the Smurfs, except they're underwater creatures. And they're totally cool. And they have the best theme song. I go to watch that cartoon today. It was such a fun cartoon when I was a kid. So when I was younger, I read a lot, and what I loved was R.L. Stine Fear Street books. Me and my cousin used to share the books. We used to read them all, and this is just one of the examples of the books. They would have like 3 stories in one, and that's what I loved about these stories, and they were just enough to be scary when I was younger, not too scary, and it was all about all these bad things that happen on one street. And I know a lot of my friends out there love R.L. Stine, and yeah, he's a very good writer, and I should read this book again now that I'm looking at it. Next we have Maxie, and this was Hasbro's attempt at making their Barbie, and to be honest, I used to love them when I was a kid. I liked their bodies a little better because they were more relatable for me, because they're not as like sexy like a Barbie doll's body is made. They look more sporty and more like a kid, and I just thought they were cool. These dolls I think came out in 1989, and I have the 2 Lifeguard girls, which I like the Lifeguard girls because that was when that was a movie. Baywatch first came out. It was a movie, and then they made the show. But I used to love Baywatch the movie because of the Lifeguards, obviously. I have one that's in the box so you can see how they looked when you got them back in the day in the box, and they're cute, and I think they made a pretty damn good attempt at going against Barbie. Too bad they didn't make it. Nobody ever can stand a chance against that damn doll Barbie. My gosh. I think I like her because she looks strong. I don't know what it is. I think her hands are a little bit bigger. And the legs have the clicky knees and all. And the hair is really nice. The face isn't as pretty as Barbie, and we will give them that. But other than that, I really do like this doll. Next is my Popple, who didn't have a Popple growing up in the 80s. This guy, my particular guy turns into a basketball, but most of them turn into like a regular little puffball that you just push them in and they have a ball. But mine is a basketball. I loved basketball when I was a kid, and my son plays basketball now, so it's a big part of my life and always will be. So yeah, I love this little guy, but this is what he looks like when he's all in his little form, and it looks like a little ball, right? So cute. Next is my Pillsbury Doughboy squeak toy, and back in the day when you would like go to the grocery store and go and get some Pillsbury mix, sometimes they would have this guy attached to the box as a special little like limited edition, and you can get the toy with it, so that's super cool. And this guy just hangs in my kitchen near my cookbooks. Next is my 1984 Pound Puppy by Tonka. And I remember the boys on my street having these, like the neighborhood kids, and this was kind of like the first stuffed animal I remember seeing boys like with. So I think that's a funny little memory I have of the Pound Puppies. But when you get these guys, they came with their own little cage. They were so cute. Now we're gonna look at my 1985 Hug-a-Bunch doll. She's a little wrecked, and she's old. She's missing her baby that she hugs, and this one's name is Precious. And I really do love that their eyes are nice and bright blue, and that they're stuffed animal, like they're soft. I remember really loving that when I was younger because I love stuffed animals and I love to cuddle. These dolls are very well made too, and I think it's because it's by the company Kenner. Kenner was like the best back in the day. My 1983 patio green from Rainbow Brite. I don't have her Sprite anymore. I lost it, but her hair seems to be in good condition. So's her face. And yeah, I picked her when I was younger because I love the color green. I also had Tickle Me Pink, the bigger girl. I remember that. But I didn't have Rainbow Brite. And I had the dog, the yellow dog. But I cannot find that yellow dog. Next is my Alf, and he is from 1984, and I own all the DVDs of Alf. I watched the show when I was younger. My son watched the show when he was younger. I think Alf is so freaking hilarious. I thought he was so funny when I was a kid, and I still think he's funny today. And he's just an alien anteater, they call him. But yeah, and he likes to eat. Next is my Burger King. Burger King gave the best toys back in the day. Is my Burger King Alf cooking puppet. And he sits in my kitchen as well with all my other kitchen type of dolls. This book was introduced to me when I was younger. And, you know, when you pick out a book to read, and I picked this one out. It's called Nobody's Fault. And this traumatized me. It's all about death. This girl's little brother dies, and I couldn't believe what I was reading when I was younger, and I never forgot it, and I've always hung on to this book. This is Ginny. I named her Ginny. She's actually a Love and Touch by Mattel, and she was my first dolly. And yeah, she's a little wrecked. Her butt's all like bitten. I didn't bite it. I think it was my doggy when I was younger. But yeah, this is my first dolly ever. And I named her Ginny. I loved that name when I was a little girl, I guess. This is another McDonald's toy. And this was, I think it was the Christmas toy. Next is my 1986 Fievel plush. And that movie made me cry when I was a kid. I loved Fievel. And I got this for Christmas from my grandfather when I was younger, right after I seen the movie. That movie still makes me cry. This right here is one of my oldest toys too. It's called a sit and spin. And yeah, I can't believe my little body fit on this thing. But I can remember pulling myself round and round on this thing, and it's still in good condition. Like, wow. It's a very well-made toy. The bottom of it says it was made in 1978. So this thing is pretty damn old, and it's still in really good condition. That's cool. So in 1986, me and my sister got the Teddy Ruxpin toy. And it's an interactive bear. You put in a tape, and he talks to you and tells you stories, basically. But me and my sister ended up changing the tape out and putting my Def Leppard tape in there and watch him sing Def Leppard, and we used to laugh our asses off. It doesn't work anymore because I think we left the batteries in and it corroded the batteries, but yeah, that's pretty sad. Maybe I can get him fixed. Next is my Wee Wisdoms, and this was one of my most favorite things when I was a kid. Wee Wisdoms is a Christian-based magazine that is a subscription, and you get it sent to you every month, and it's got games and stories and puzzles and crafts and all kinds of Christian based things for kids, and it was one of my most favorite things to get. Obviously, when you're a kid, you don't get a lot of mail, so especially in the 80s, so I thought it was super cool for getting magazines in the mail. Yeah, I cherished these when I was a kid. The magazine had been around like since the 50s or something. It's been around forever. But I have the 80s and 90s editions. But yeah, I was very lucky to get these as a kid. Did anybody else ever get these magazines as a kid? I'm just curious. Next is a doll that I shared with my sister, and this is Kimberly the Cheerleader by Tommy that company. Yeah, Tomy. Anyways, this doll is very well made. I used to love playing with her. She is beautiful. Her hair is really nice, and I used to love her outfit. Her pom-poms have seen better days. They're kind of falling apart, but other than that, she's in great condition. She has a beautiful smile. I used to think she was Farrah Fawcett when I was younger. I had forgotten to put this in my pile. This is my Care Bear cup from back in the day, a very happy cup. I love Care Bears. Care Bears make me happy. I actually have a group of friends online, and we call ourselves the Sunnies, and the Care Bears is our mascot. That's how much we love the Care Bears. This is a Little Mermaid game. This is new in box. This isn't from when I was younger, but I just wanted to slip it in here because I used to play this. I remember playing this in my parents' car when you didn't have like phones and stuff that you could play with back in the day, and this thing made me very happy. So it re-released as like a retro thing they did, and I bought it for my collection because that thing is long gone. I don't know where it went, but that's cool that they made that. And last but not least, my Saxy Maxie. Yes, this is my Saxy Maxie clown, and I actually have a picture of me holding this clown, and I'm going to put it right here. And yeah, I think I started my love for clowns then and never stopped because I have like a very big clown collection now, which you will be seeing this month. He did come with a saxophone, but I lost it, and he has like 3 other outfits. So guys, that was things from my childhood part 1. What did you guys think? Did you guys own or play with any of these things as a child? And what was your favorite thing that we talked about today? So if you like this video, please press like, subscribe, and I'll see you later.